comes to talk. Welcome, all of you. Oh, man. Trump is always right and always winning. And I don't know how long it's going to take the Trump haters to figure this out. But Trump is always right. Always. You know, look at what they did with the left, with their talking points, with the stock market and the tariffs, right? Stock market, Dow Jones closed 564 points up on Friday. 564 points up on Friday because of the incredible jobs report. And the reason the jobs are up is because Trump's back and doing such a perfect job with the economy. Welcome, everyone. And I talked about that in detail on my podcast last night. Make sure you guys check that out. The Trump economy is booming. And then I get up this morning and I start reading through the news, and China has dropped a whole bunch of the tariffs on U.S. goods. A whole bunch of them. So China is caving to President Trump in the trade tariff wars. Another thing that Democrats, the liberals, the trolls were wrong about. And then earlier in the week, we got the mineral deal with Ukraine, which means that Zelensky caved to Trump. And not only that, not only did Zelensky cave to Trump, with the mineral deal, Ukraine's going to be paying the United States back from all the money they conned out of us with that thief, corrupt, senile old coot Joe Biden over the last few years. And what Trump's doing in Ukraine, by the way, welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. So what Trump is doing with Ukraine is more than just get the money back that they've taken from our treasury. He's setting up an entire minerals industry inside Ukraine. And these mineral deposits are in eastern Ukraine, which is the side Russia's on. There's going to be an entire American infrastructure in eastern Ukraine with these mineral deals, where American businesses will be there, American businessmen, American workers, and their families, which will prevent Putin from ever making a move on Ukraine because he doesn't want to kill Americans, especially American civilians. And that's a brilliant way to end a war, isn't it? A brilliant way to end a war. Not only that, he's also, you know, President Trump is into expanding the sphere of influence of the United States. That's what making Greenland the 51st state is about, right? He's establishing, with the mineral deal, President Trump is establishing the beginnings of the colonization of Ukraine by the United States, because, you know, these Americans that are going to be over there with their families in the mineral industry, those are super high-paying jobs. A lot of those guys will be very wealthy, but the very high-wage people will be doing that. There'll be other American businesses that move to Ukraine. So things are going well. Oh yeah, and Connie in Canada is about ready to come to the White House to start kissing Trump's ring over the tariffs. So we're going to win with that too. My first bit of coffee this morning. So when these idiot liberal know-nothing trolls ask you, how's your 401k doing? It's doing pretty good. Dow Jones just closed 564 points up yesterday. Thank you, President Trump. Oh, yeah. President Trump knows exactly what he is doing. He is always right. He always makes the right decisions. And the left, they'll move on to some other talking points, right? They'll have some new talking point next week. Excuse me, guys. It's the first time I've spoken today, and I've been up for hours. It's a good time to buy Tesla stock. Coffee too hot to drink. They put steamed milk in my coffee. I'll show you guys. Steamed milk's just a little hot. Hey, Brian. Oh, it doesn't get better than this. I mean, this is the most exciting presidency any of us will ever live through, is Trump's second term. He is not messing around. And a year from now, the stock market's going to be so high. It's not a good time to be a Democrat. It's winning, exactly. Winning. Winning, winning, winning. Yeah, that's the new talking point the Democrats have. I saw that yesterday, recession. Dow closed up 564 points. S&P 500 had a 25-year history making gain. It is the golden age of Trump, no doubt about it. We're going to have a big 4th of July celebration next year for our 250th anniversary. Welcome, everyone. If you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe. Democrats want the USA to fail. Yeah, Ocean Breeze Studio. That's my wife, Kathy. So if you guys want to follow her, you can follow her. Ocean Breeze, that's my wife. The Democrats always want the country to fail. That's right. A year from now, the U.S. will be celebrating our 250th birthday. Yeah, not the liberals, though. They'll be depressed on our birthday. Yeah, Kamala, he removed, President Trump removed Kamala's husband from that group. What a jerk he is. I expect them to get divorced. What good is she to him now, right? He's a corrupt businessman, made millions of dollars off of her connections and CCP deals and everything. She's unelectable. She's just an old wino. She's got nothing to offer him anymore. I expect them to get divorced. Kamala and her weirdo husband. Yes, it's winning. Kamala moved back to Bangladesh. Oh, my goodness. Kamala doesn't care where she lives as long as the wine keeps coming. She was so drunk on stage the other day. Yep, my wife's doing well. She's not 100% well yet, but she's close. Now, and I noticed I don't see so many trolls in the chat this morning. You notice that? Not so many trolls. Because the stock market's up. They got nothing to say. They're waiting for the Democrats to email them their updated talking points. Is it possibly a regret wearing that cap? Why would I regret this? The only thing is, this is got a little dent in it up there. Hold on. This is one of my older MAGA hats. People who no, I don't mind people that disagree with me, but how could you disagree with anything Trump is doing if you're an American? I'm not talking to the people that are in other countries. If you're in the United States, if you're an American, how could you not support Trump? Border crossings are down 99.99%. The only reason they're not 100%. There were 9 people that came to the border who needed medical attention, so Trump let them in, these 9 people. So there's been 9 people that have crossed the border. With Biden, there were millions. 9. So border crossings are down 99.99%. How could you be illegal border crossings? How could you be against that? How could you be against that? Yes, I have hair, not like Tim Pool. Although it's bedhead because I just got up, Tim Pool wishes he had bedhead, right? I am in Florida. I'm in South Florida, next to Starbucks. I'm in front of a pizza place next to Starbucks. They're not open yet because it's 5:53 in the morning. That steamed milk is just too hot. I don't ask them for the steamed milk, they just do it. I mean, think about it. How did Trump get the border crossings down 99.99% in like 3 months, right? And what Biden kept saying, and the Democrats, oh, you know, we need to pass comprehensive border reform. We have to pass comprehensive immigration reform. If the Republicans would just pass the bill, and the bill was another government ripoff, right, for their old, you know, their friends like USAID. Didn't pass any bills, nothing. He used the tariffs to get Mexico to send their army to their northern border, which is our southern border. So the Mexican army is guarding the border on that side, stopping them. He's finishing the wall. He had Pete Hegseth send the Marines to our southern border, and it's down 99.99%. That's crazy. And it's not even in the news. If Trump hadn't said it, you wouldn't even know it was down that much. They don't want to report anything good. My favorite thing Trump did this week was trolling the media over the Mike Waltz thing. That was just the best. And I agree, you know, with that. Richie called in on the show yesterday and brought up something, and he was right, I think. They've got a leaker in the White House that they're trying to smoke out. And they may have done it. So first thing in the morning when I get off the air Thursday, you get an announcement, Mike Waltz out as National Security Advisor. And I thought that was really strange. And then all these reporters started talking about their sources. And one was pretty specific. They said they had 4 sources inside the White House. And they told them that Trump and the White House team wanted to get rid of Mike Waltz before the Signal Chat, and that the Signal Chat scandal, which is not really a scandal, kept him in place longer. And I'm like, what? You know, so they had this whole thing that he was fired. That's what came out of the White House. And then like 2 hours later, Trump posts on True Social that he's nominating him to be the ambassador to the United States, which is ambassador to the United States. We don't have an ambassador to the United States. Ambassador to the United Nations. And that's a pretty prestigious position. So I agree. I think they were trying to smoke out a suspected leaker or a leaker in the White House, and they led with that firing thing. Didn't tell anybody about the UN ambassadorship nomination to see what the media was reporting. And I hope they smoked that traitor, leaker out. And the media looked so stupid with that. Didn't they? Oh, he's fired. He's fired. He wasn't fired. If he was fired, he wouldn't have a prestigious appointment like that. Mm-hmm. No, that's what Trump did. Yeah, Mike Waltz is from Florida. Yeah, so many of them are from Florida, right? Kash Patel, Pam Bondi lives in Florida. President Trump lives in Florida. Are you one of the people who believe that tariffs are paid by foreign companies? They are. In fact, if you look, companies that have had to deal with tariffs have not raised their prices. They're eating the tariffs right now. Yes. You know, it's amazing to me, these idiot liberals in the chat that talk about how the price of tariffs get passed on to consumers, right? That's what they say. Tariffs is a tax, right? It's an import tax. Democrats want to do nothing but raise taxes. And Republicans say, hey, you know, we got to lower taxes. You know, the cost of taxes on businesses and multi people is passed on to consumers. Oh, no, it's not. That's just a lie. Now, all of a sudden, they've been making this argument for a little more than 100 days that taxes are paid for by consumers. Which is it? You can't have it both ways. But President Trump's about to give us the biggest tax cut this country's ever seen in the big, beautiful bill with the no tax on tips and no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. So whatever you're paying in tariffs, you're going to make up and then some with that. Democrats are 100% brain dead. Absolutely. I agree with that. If companies start raising their prices, people won't shop with them. Democrats are freaking embarrassing. I agree. It'll be the biggest tax cut ever because the people that, yes, the reason it's the biggest is because the people that are going to get the tax cuts are people that normally don't get tax cuts, right? When they do tax cuts, they reduce taxes on the income tax brackets. People that are tip workers, very few pay income taxes. There's payroll taxes, right? Your paycheck deductions. Those aren't income taxes. Those are payroll taxes, and those are steep too. But it's not income taxes. So when they lower income taxes, those people don't get tax breaks. The tip workers, unless they're making a lot of money, doing their tip work. So there are so many more tip workers now than ever, right? It's not just waiters, waitresses, and bartenders, right? It's Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, Uber Eats, DoorDash. That whole sector of the economy, they get tips, no taxes on their tips. You leave a tip for your DoorDash driver on the app, they're not going to have to pay taxes on it. The largest tax cut ever to people that don't normally get tax cuts. It's huge. It's a massive, massive raise for all of them. Yeah. And the Democrats are going to be running against that in the midterms, tax cuts. They're going to run against tax cuts. Good luck on that. And then in the next presidential election, because President Trump, see, here's the thing with the tariffs. And Trump talks about this. He wants to eliminate income taxes on individuals making under $200,000 a year. That's 98% of the people. 98% of the workforce make under $200,000 a year. And I'm sure for married couples, it'll be $400,000, right? That's almost everyone in the country. He's going to eliminate income taxes for almost every person in the country. 98%. The only people that will be paying income taxes are millionaires and billionaires at that point. Think about that. And the tariffs are going to pay for everything. And for all these liberals who say, well, how are you going to run the country? That's what Doge is doing, right? Didn't you see the Jesse Waters interview with Doge, the Doge team with Elon the other day? They're renting out arenas and stadiums with the tax money for parties. We're not paying the tariffs. What tariff have you paid? And how would you even know that you were paying a tariff? What are you, an importer? You notice none of the trolls are asking about the 401ks today because the Dow Jones closed up 564 points yesterday. $2.89. Yeah, I paid $2.60 the other day when I filled up. It's $2.59 at the gas station right over here. Did I study economics? Yeah, President Trump studied economics, and so did all the people around him. All of a sudden, all these trolls are economists. They live with mommy and daddy. They're economists. If you're new to my channel, my name is Brian. Make sure that you subscribe. The Wharton School of Finance. Yeah, Trump is a top economist. These other presidents, when they bring in economists, they bring in college professors. They've never worked in the private sector. They have a PhD in economics, but they've never worked outside of the university. They don't know what they're talking about. It's like, would you hire a lawyer who went to law school, started teaching law, and never practiced law in a courtroom, and you're on trial for a murder? Would you hire an attorney who was a college professor that had never been in a courtroom? The only that's insane. Of course you wouldn't. The Wharton School of Business, yes. So why would you have somebody that has a PhD in economics telling you how to run the largest economy in the world, the economy of the United States, who's never worked outside of the college? They don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, President Trump's up the street at Mar-a-Lago. He flew into Florida the other night. Oh, tariffs make money for the country, sure. MAGA for life. No, Trump graduated. Oh yeah, he did. Trump is always doing the right thing. He is always doing the right thing. You don't need experience to understand the core. The core theory is you got to have practical experience. Would you, okay, if you needed open heart surgery, would you allow a doctor who graduated medical school, never worked in a hospital or did surgery, but they taught surgical technique at the medical school, but they've never done it? Would you let them perform open heart surgery on you? No, you wouldn't. You'd want a doctor that's performed a lot of successful open heart surgeries. So you don't want some college professor giving you advice on economics when you're the president. That makes no sense. You want people that have real world practical experience. I mean, how could you argue with that? Canada is finished. Well, now, Connie, the Prime Minister of Canada, is going to meet with Trump, kiss Trump's butt, and Trump will save Canada. He'll get the tariffs balanced, and that'll be that. Trump's on his way out. Yeah, when his term is up. Who wants Britain? It's like there are probably more Muslims in the UK than in Abu Dhabi. Well, don't forget, Trump may be running in 2028. Los Angeles, welcome. Exactly. All these countries like England have been ripping us off. How many of you, would you vote for Trump in 2028, yes or no? I would. Yes, for me. Would you vote for Trump in 2028, yes or no? Absolutely. I'd vote for him in 2032, too. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe, okay? This is where MAGA comes to talk, as you can tell. Yeah, to 2196. Exactly. Exactly. He's not too old. Trump is not a mortal man, right? I mean, you know, he look at what he does. All this energy. I can't even keep up with him watching him on Right Side Broadcasting. He gets up in the day. He's got to do all his presidential work. He has all these events in the White House. He flies off, gives a college commencement, and then he flies to Mar-a-Lago. I mean, I'm exhausted watching it on Right Side on YouTube. Aren't you guys? And he goes and goes and goes. He's got more energy than people half his age. That's why he's so successful. Elon Musk is awesome, man. What Elon Musk has done, aren't car alarms stupid, right? I mean, all they do is annoy people. Is there a recorded instance of a car alarm stopping a thief? What Elon Musk has done with Doge, exposing all this stuff, it's not just about the money that he's caught them stealing, right? People in the country have woken up. People knew the government was too big and spent too much money on toilet seats and stuff, but they didn't realize that they were renting out stadiums just to have private parties. So what's going to happen, we're going to have pretty much every bill that goes through Trump's second term is going to have tax cuts in it, right? The first one we talked about, no tax on tips, overtime, no tax on Social Security. There's going to be a bill ending income tax for people under $200,000. They're going to allow people to deduct the interest on their auto loans from their taxes on U.S.-made vehicles, which, by the way, includes a lot of what you think are like BMWs are made in the United States. So you might be able to buy a Beamer and deduct the tax. And the Democrats always argue against taxes, and their argument always is the same: how are you going to pay for it? How are you going to pay? You got to fund the government. And when we see how much money the government's been wasting, thanks to Elon Musk and Doge, they're never going to be able to even attempt to make that case credibly. Yeah, the Gulf of America. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I saw that the woke judge let that spring breaker. Was that spring break Tesla terrorist? Was she born male or female? I was a little confused. Let her out for gender reaffirming something. It was very strange. So terrorists, if they're going through gender transformations, they don't go to prison. Terrorists now. Welcome everyone. Make sure you subscribe, guys. America's ocean. That's not a bad idea. Trump he was talking about renaming Veterans Day to Victory in World War I or something like that, and what was the other one he was going to rename? What was it? Veterans Day and Memorial Day? I can't remember exactly which was which, but Veterans Day used to recognize the victory of World War. It was called Armistice Day. For the longest time, it was called Armistice Day. And they changed it to Veterans Day. Welcome, South Africa. Thank you for giving us Elon Musk, South Africa. Oh, my goodness. So it's not a new idea. But I don't think these idiots in the media, they hate Trump so much, they don't know that. China dropped a whole bunch of their tariffs on the United States yesterday. A whole bunch. Yep, Temu is stopping the importation of Chinese goods. They're going to try to transform into selling American goods, Temu. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome if you're new to the channel. Thanks for subscribing, guys. Your unintelligence really shines through. Really? What have I said that makes me sound so unintelligent? If they don't make the peace deal, we should abandon Ukraine, absolutely. But we're not. They signed the mineral deal the other day, so no. I look like someone who's divorced. We'll tell that to my wife. She was in the chat a few minutes ago. Yeah, Temu sells garbage. But Amazon sold garbage when they were new, like, right? Used books. They say Ukraine's the most corrupt country in Europe. That's saying a lot. Mm-hmm. Nope, this hat is from the Trump store, the official Trump store. Mm-hmm. Can you guys hear the birds chirping? There's like 1,000 birds here chirping in the trees. The mineral deal matters. Yeah, it's very expensive minerals. And I was talking about this at the beginning of the stream, but I'll tell you quickly. The mineral deal serves a couple purposes. One, they're expensive minerals. They're rare earth minerals. So it's a way for the United States to get paid back for all the money that Ukraine ripped us off. But the mines are in eastern Ukraine, which is on the Russian side. So American companies, American workers are going to be moving there with their families. Russia will never invade and go over Americans and kill Americans. It's like a wall of Americans protecting Ukraine forever from Russia invading. It's a pretty smart move by Trump. Yep. It's a pretty smart move. I support Israel, Blue Hue. Don't you? You support terrorists? The Hamas terrorists? Why would you do that? It was amazing this week that Robert Kennedy, he's got all the government proof. He says chemtrails are real. That really blew me away. I mean, I've heard about chemtrails all my life, and I didn't really have a strong opinion on them. But it seemed kind of crazy sometimes. But no, chemtrails are real, according to Secretary Kennedy. They are real. Yeah, and now we know. Now can they tell us what's going on at Area 51? It's a government fact now that chemtrails are real. Of course, I have a MyPillow promo code. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com. Save up to 80% off of some of the most popular MyPillow products with my promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com. I know, and the chemtrail story barely made the news. By grifting, you mean making a living? Yeah, well, if I lived off of mommy and daddy like you, I wouldn't have to make a living. But then I'm a real man, unlike you, living off of mommy and daddy. But the news, I haven't seen any major news outlet report the chemtrail story, which I would have thought they would have, at least to try to discredit RFK, but they didn't. How did he win on China? That's in the title of the video. China dropped a bunch of China raised tariffs on U.S. imports to 125%. They just dropped a bunch of them, a ton of them, on U.S. goods. Prices have not gone up because of tariffs in this country. What is costing more because of tariffs? There's been articles written about this. I posted one on X this morning. The companies are eating up they're paying for the tariffs. They're not passing it on to the consumers. Every European is laughing their ass off at you guys. Every stream, I have to tell this to some foreigner. In the United States, Americans don't give a shit what people in other countries think about us, our country, or our president. We don't care. Okay? That's just the way it is. Americans don't care what people in other countries think about us. We just don't. And it seems like every stream I have to tell somebody that it's true. We just don't care. We don't even know who the leaders of your countries are. And the one said Europe. Europe is just a tourist trap. If it wasn't for tourism, Europe would be in a Great Depression. Yes, I have a child. I mean, what is Europe other than a tourist trap these days? Europe is nothing but a problem. They'll always have problems. They're a mess. They always have been. Only care about America, David. That's right. Who am I? I'm Brian. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're new. The dollar is fine. I will support Trump for the rest of my life. Really, if you took tourism out of Europe, what would they have? You'd have nothing. Nothing. $20 super sticker from Riki Tiki Tavi. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're amazing too. Thank you for that super sticker. MAGA forever, that's right. Absolutely. Oh yeah, this is great. You know, yeah, you know, not one, somebody will say it now because I'm going to mention it, but the Dow Jones closed up 564 points. The S&P 500 broke a, was it a 25-year record? And now somebody will say this because I'm mentioning it now, but the biggest talking point of the past 3 or 4 weeks, I haven't seen one liberal use in the chat room today. It's the first time I've not seen it in weeks. How's your 401k doing? 401ks are doing very well, thank you. Dow closed up 564 points yesterday. Sorry, I got to get a new talking point. Everyone's 401k went up yesterday. MAGA all day, every day. That's right. Oh yeah, that's the new thing. The stock market's only one, is not the economy now. That'll be their next talking point, even though they've been telling us it's everything. Well, you actually, President Trump talked about this in the first campaign about the dollar. He talked about how stupid American politicians were to drive up the value of the dollar. He says sometimes you want the dollar to be lower because, you know, what Trump is doing, if you notice, you want the dollar to be lower now. And the dollar losing value is a great thing right now, and I'll tell you why. President Trump talked about this in the first campaign in 2015. What Trump is doing, and he's been doing this every day, he's bringing businesses, big businesses, to the United States. Some of them are building factories here, you know, the AI people, Apple, car companies. He's making deals to bring factories here, like trillions of dollars in deals. You want the dollar to be lower. These are foreign companies. So whatever currency they use in their country will go further in the United States to move their factory and move their corporation here. So having the dollar lower is a great way to give a boom to the economy. You don't learn about that in Economics 1101 at your state college, but Trump knows exactly what he's doing. If the dollar's high, these foreign companies, they don't want to move here because their money doesn't go that far. Makes sense, doesn't it? Of course it makes sense. I never thought about that before till Trump was talking about that in the first campaign. Make sure that you subscribe. Those of you that are new to my channel, this is where MAGA comes to talk. No doubt about that. This is the most pro-Donald Trump space you will find anywhere, not just on YouTube, anywhere. The EU is nothing. The EU destroyed Europe by having uncontrolled immigration. Well, and most of Europe's been conquered. England's fallen. That's it. What's next? France? Which country's next to fall after? UK's first. England. Source for what? Germany's next. England is part of the caliphate now. It's a Muslim country. You know, when you have uncontrolled immigration from country to country in a small place like that, it's been taken over. Well, Poland's different. Poland's good. There's some exceptions. But look, France, England, Germany. I mean, look, they were playing the Muslim call to prayer in Parliament. Who would have ever thought? You know, I was talking to somebody I know who's originally from England. They're a U.S. citizen now. It's one of our listeners that was on our MAGA cruise last month, and they're originally from England, but they're a U.S. citizen now. And we were talking about this, and he said everything that his father fought for in World War II was for nothing because they've been conquered. Think about that. It's crazy. It's sad. But see, we have Trump. He's smart. Like, he's deporting these terrorist students. Very smart. Yep, Hungary and Poland are exceptions. Italy, they got a great prime minister in Italy. It's all true. Sad but true. And if you're in Europe and you don't accept that, you're in denial. You can't be a foreign student, come over here. You can't even be an American student and organize for terrorist organizations. Hamas is a terrorist. It's like Al-Qaeda. You can't start organizing for terrorists. Even if you're an American. It's against the law. Oh, I just explained why it's a good thing to have the dollar down in value. In fact, Trump might do things to make the dollar lose value to bring more businesses back to the United States. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. You know, Republicans have been talking about, you know, there were, the Republican platform since the 80s had on it overturn Roe v. Wade and cut funding for NPR and PBS. Trump did both. Trump overturned Roe v. Wade. He has saved, how many babies have been born since Trump overturned Roe v. Wade? I don't know. Maybe millions, I don't know. And then he defunded PBS and NPR. Republicans have been talking about doing both of those things for as long as I can remember, and he did them both just like that. Well, who would have a baby in Gaza, right? If my neighborhood was getting bombed, I'd move to a place that wasn't getting bombed. Wouldn't you? Any American who wants to leave and go to the UK, please take them, like Rosie O'Donnell. Yep. PBS and NPR, you know, first of all, they illegally have advertisements, and they make boatloads of money off of their properties, Sesame Street and all their other programs. They make a lot of money. And they have all these members that pay them money every month, like idiots, liberal do-gooders. Mm-hmm. What's wrong with making money? The only person who would be against making money is somebody who's broke and a loser, or a communist, or both. You can be both. You can be a broke loser and a communist. Most communists are broke losers. Communists in America are either broke losers or millionaires like Bernie Sanders and AOC. It's one or the other. They do make a lot of money. PBS and NPR, plus they get all the government funding. No, they don't need it. I explained why you want the dollar to be lower in value. I'm not going to go over it again. You can rewind the stream. Mm-hmm. Making money is a good thing, yeah. It is a good thing. You were a socialist till you got a job. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, here you got these communists, Bernie and AOC, flying around on private jets. Give me a break. Why? I bought this coffee. It was the same price it's been for like 2 years. No tariff increases, no weakened dollar. Mm-mm. Bernie, I think, has 5 houses, if I remember correctly. One of them's a summer camp. What kind of weirdo has a summer camp? Camp Crystal Lake, I think it's called. 3? I thought it was 5 houses. I could be wrong. 3, 5. I have 1 house. How many houses do you have? I winter and summer in the same place. When will we have a Muslim president? Don't you mean when will we have a Muslim president again? Really, wages aren't increasing? What about these tens of thousands of new jobs that were created in April? Their wages increased 100%. The way they make these politicians like AOC, the way they make the millionaires and they pay them off, or through their phony book deals. They write books that no one's going to buy and read, and they do fake buys of the books, and they get rich. DeSantis made a couple $1 million off his book. That's how they do it. It's a scam. Mm-hmm. That's what they do. Absolutely. Katy Perry. Oh my goodness. I was watching. I can't remember who it was. Michael Knowles, who I can't stand, but he was showing. I think it was Michael Knowles was showing the Katy Perry empty arena at her concert. I saw these videos of Katy Perry. She can't dance. I mean, her concerts are awful. She's like amateur hour. She wouldn't make it through the first round on American Idol auditions. Katy Perry. She went up on Jeff Bezos' penis rocket and destroyed her career. You know, she went up on that rocket to try to give her career a boost, and it's done the opposite. Did you guys see the Megyn Kelly Blue Origin parody video with her friends? Pretty funny. It was pretty funny, I must say. I watched it yesterday. Michael Knowles is weird. Why don't I like Michael Knowles? I think he's weird. He has the hands of a woman. He's got some masculinity issues. That's why he always sits around with a cigar, so he can make people think he's manly. And he spends too much time talking to OnlyFans girls on his program. He's creepy. I think Michael Knowles. I think it's creepy that he's spends so much time with these OnlyFans girls. Yeah, that's why. I just think he's creepy. I shouldn't say I can't stand him. Let me change that. He's creepy. I find Michael Knowles creepy. Yeah. I mean, if I was interviewing OnlyFans girls around the table all the time, half naked, I mean, what would you think? You'd think I was a creep. And you'd be right if I did that. That's creepy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Charlie Kirk's awesome. Charlie Kirk's awesome. He helped us win the election. Absolutely. Michael Moore, it's hard to miss him as big as he is. Mm-hmm. Charlie Kirk's awesome. I mean, look, President Trump gave that college commencement address. No booze, just Trump love from the students. You know how unusual it is to have college students support a Republican? It's unheard of. And Charlie Kirk and Trump have made being a Republican cool. Before Trump came down the escalator, college Republicans were dorks. They looked like Ben Shapiro. They dressed like they worked at Blockbuster. They'd wear khakis, penny loafers, a blue button-up, and a blue blazer. They look like idiots, dorks. Now all the cool kids in college are MAGA Republicans. And Charlie Kirk is in large part responsible for that. Trump too, but Charlie Kirk played a big role in that. So it's amazing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The brains are still developing? Yeah, well, it's better to have them develop as Republicans than liberal idiots. Now, if you've not already done it, make sure you subscribe to my channel. This is where MAGA comes to talk. No doubt about that. And if you watch me during the week, I take live calls when I'm in the studio. And all you trolls can call me out on the carpet if you disagree with anything I say. However, I don't see how anyone could disagree with what I'm saying. I'm smarter than you. Yeah, Howard Stern used to be great, and then he became an old lady. Caitlyn Jenner's more manly than Howard Stern. That's right. Let me ask you guys, who's more manly? Caitlyn Jenner or Howard Stern? I would say Caitlyn Jenner. Howard Stern is a wimp. Just a wimp. Yep. It's true. Exactly. Nobody even has to think about that. And it's crazy because Howard Stern used to be so cool and everything else, and now look at him. That's his wife. When he married his wife, she turned him into a woman. Mm-hmm. He is a coward. Patrick Bet David seems all right to me. I haven't watched him in a while, but I've liked what I've seen. Oh, you went to Yale? Well, I'm impressed. That's where that's where you go to get your brain washed. Trump did not hide classified documents. First of all, if you got classified documents, the purpose of them being classified is to keep them secret and hidden from the public. So if Trump even did that, that's the right thing to do. You mean steal? He didn't steal any documents. I went through this all in the beginning of the stream, Dan, so you can rewind the stream and I'll tell you how Trump won with China and Ukraine. I'm not going to go over it again. I talked about it in depth at the beginning of the stream, so just rewind. Rewind. Mm-hmm. And you'll see. Well, thank you, Freedom Soup. Yes, please subscribe and like. And check out my podcast. I uploaded a new podcast last night. It's the video before this one on the channel. Check that out if you don't mind. All right, guys. Well, the sun is coming up, and I got a lot of stuff to do. Thanks for watching. Again, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care.